Hi guys. You all expressed a desire to have a conversation on deodorant and antiperspirant, and I aim to please. So let's talk first about antiperspirant and why I never use it any longer. Okay, and it's been, I'd say 6 years now since I've used an antiperspirant, and here is why. Antiperspirants do exactly what you expect them to do. They stop you from sweating. Okay? That's what you buy it for, and that's what it does. That's not a good thing. Yes, you don't embarrass yourself by having wet marks under your arms and all of that. I get it. I understand. I'm in a different situation. I'm disabled. I'm home. I interact with people and I go places and all that, and it's just not an issue for me. I don't sweat profusely anymore. I used to sweat even though I used an antiperspirant. Sweating is our coping mechanism. Our bodies are designed to do certain things, and whether we like it or not, that's why we were created the way we were created. And we have a tendency to fight Mother Nature, and that's where we create problems for ourselves. Mother Nature knows what she's doing. She knows what she's on about, okay? So we were designed to sweat to cool ourselves off. And let's face it, on a really hot day, unless you're doing some strenuous exercise, the only place you're really going to sweat a lot might be on your forehead and your underarms. So you're putting on antiperspirant, you're stopping yourself from sweating, you're clogging those sweat ducts. You're not allowing the natural process to occur, and the things that should be secreting from that area, you've stopped all that. Okay, so it's not healthy. I'll just say that. It's not healthy. And I know you're gonna say about that. Okay, but let me explain. Don't turn me off just yet. Let me explain. Okay, when I stopped using antiperspirant, I went through a detox. Just like when you give up anything, when you give up caffeine or you give up cheese, you go through a detox. And I sweated really bad for a couple of weeks. And then it got out of my system. And then my body realized that it could then work as it was intended to work. And then all that heavy sweating stopped. Oh, well, you're in a cold climate. I was in the desert of New Mexico when I did my detox from antiperspirant, okay? Desert, 115 degrees. We need to sweat. It's what our bodies are meant to do, okay? But once you go through that detox, you aren't going to have a lot of, sweat unless you have a medical condition that makes you sweat excessively. And there are people who do, and this isn't for those people, okay? You need medication for that, and this isn't for those people, all right? This is for the everyday run-of-the-mill person, all right? Now, having said all that, once I went plant-based and I went through all the detox that came with that, I don't stink anymore, okay? I wash every day. So by the time those areas have had a chance to grow bacteria that's going to be sweaty, it's time for me to take a shower again. So it's really not an issue. But if you want to use a deodorant, and that's what this video is about, because you all asked, I'm going to show you lots of different options. I'll show you one that I make myself. I used to make myself, and I used to sell it, and I used to use it every day. And it works. But because I don't stink anymore, I don't use it anymore. And so I've still got lots of it in the cupboard. So I'm not going to actually go through the steps of creating that today. I'm just going to give you the recipe and tell you how to make it if you choose to make it, okay? And that'll be at the end. So let's talk about options. A lot of people just use a lemon or a lime, okay? You can use actual juice and just spray it or you can actually cut the fruit, rub it, put it in a little baggie and stick it in the fridge and pull that out every day and do that. And let me just tell you, if you shave, that can be painful. A lot of people swear by it and they love it and they use it every day. And the only thing I can say is those people must not shave. And you know what? This is a judge-free zone, okay? I get really, really irritated when people judge other people. We're not going to have any body shaming. If you choose not to shave, that's your body and that's your right. And there's a big movement of women right now not shaving. Perfectly honest, I might shave once a week. I might shave once a year. And it just depends on what I feel like. And I have gone periods where I don't shave my legs, my underarms, or anything. And that's on me. So y'all don't judge me. I'm not going to judge you. It's your body. You do what you want with it. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Okay, so if you shave, you're scraping your skin, and you can often nick yourself, and lemon or lime juice or fresh fruit may not be for you because that may hurt. Okay, you can just use regular coconut oil, okay? And a lot of people do, just to give a little bit of a scent and moisturize the area of the underarms. And that works too. And I've done that, and I like that. There are a lot of brands that offer a natural approach to a deodorant. Well, why? Why do you need a natural approach? Okay, there are a lot of chemicals in commercial deodorants and antiperspirants. There's parabens, there's chromium, and there's aluminum. And what happens, especially if you're shaving, you're scraping that area, you could nick yourself, you're putting that product there, and it gets into your system a lot easier if you shave. And women end up with breast cancer along this area of the breast, and it's been linked, okay? I'll just say it's been linked. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor. And like I've said in my other videos, some people feel like it's the bra that's cutting off the lymph system that's causing the breast cancer through this area. But some studies have shown that it is that aluminum in the deodorant, okay? And antiperspirant. So if you go for a more natural approach, that's going to be a lot better. So one like this, you can get at the grocery store, and it works just fine, and it's fairly cheap. It's about $2.50 here in the U.S. It is kind of, I don't know how well you can see that. It's real slick. So you've got to air dry for quite a bit before you get dressed, because it just feels icky, okay? I use it once in a while if I feel like I need to, but I'm just going to say the consistency of it feels real icky. Ones like this I absolutely love, but they've gotten carried away on their pricing, and it's ridiculous. And you know me, I'm frugal. I am cheap as cheap could be. So I don't care how good your product is. If you're charging me almost $11 plus shipping for this product, you can keep it, because I won't ever get it again, okay? Now this one is for sensitive skin, and I'll tell you the difference. If you get the one that's not sensitive skin, it has baking soda in it. And some people have reactions to baking soda in the armpit area. And if I use it every day, I get a rash. And some people have a darkening of the underarm area. And if you shave and it's summertime and you're wearing, tanks and all that, and you want to show that area off, you don't want it looking real dark and it looks dirty. It does. And it's just something with the baking soda that does that. Now, if I use it every once in a while, as I do now for deodorant, then I don't have that issue. This one is for sensitive skin, because I did find I was having the rash. And what the difference is there's no baking soda, but it has magnesium hydroxide, and that's the main ingredient in the ones that are baking soda free. And you can buy that magnesium hydroxide, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the main ingredient in milk of magnesia. It's a tummy remedy, okay? And you can get that at the grocery store, and you can use that as deodorant or to make your own deodorant, just like they do, because this is someone's home remedy that they cooked up in their own kitchen, and then they marketed on a grander scale, and they're charging a fortune. It's like $11 for one of these little things, and that's ridiculous. All right. Now, there's also things like this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is the scent of samati. And this little jar for these little herbs of, it's a deodorant, they market as a deodorant, was $50. I'm frugal. So it smells absolutely wonderful. Does it work as a deodorant? No. No. They say to take a little pinch of these, and you see how much I've used, a little pinch of the herbs and just put it under your underarms, and it smells magnificent. It smells like one of those candle shops with incense, okay? But no, it didn't work. Now, if I took it in a jar, mixed a little bit of this with some coconut oil, it was easier to rub it under my armpits, and I got a little better scent from that, because it made the scent go farther. But by the next morning, I still stank and still had to take, but I take a shower every day. It's not an issue. If you didn't shower every day, it would be an issue. Okay. Now, this is mine. And back in the day, I used to make these, and I used to sell them on Etsy. I had a whole range of stuff. I did deodorants, I did face masks, I did my oil cleansing method, I did my facial oil, and now I give you all the recipes so you can make it yourself, because I'm not going to make this at home and store these products and ship them out. It wasn't cost effective for me, because I absolutely won't use plastic. These are little jelly jars, okay, so they're heavy. So realistically, it was costing me as much to ship it to you as it was for the product, because I charged $5 for this in the glass jar. These people are charging $11. I can guarantee I've got a whole lot more product in this. So I would have had to charge more in order to come out, or you would be paying the same amount, because you're $5 for the product and $5 for the shipping, you know. Anyway, so I don't make them anymore. I'll give you the recipe, like I've done all of my recipes for the items that I used to sell. I'm unwrapping this so that I can open it and show it to you. And it's a lovely cream. Let me come here so that you can see it, okay? It's just a lovely, thick cream, and that's the deodorant, okay? Now, do you want to make this yourself? Do you want to try this? I will give you that recipe, and I will tell you how to do it. This is my book of recipes. This is all my soap making, all my oils, all my bath products, everything having to do with health and beauty. It's in here. All right, ready? Get your pen and your paper and write it down. No, I'm not typing it out for you. Guys, I don't get paid anything for this. You'll see ads. This video might make $1. $1. So I'm giving you my time to share this with you. Have the decency to sit and write it out and not expect me to do that for you too, okay? So, I'm not trying to be mean. I really am not. But I get so many people say, can't you write this out for me? I don't want it if you're not going to write it for me. Well, when I start making the big mugs, maybe I'll take the time to write it out for you. But right now, I'm just not, okay? So you want one quarter cup of coconut oil. And what you're going to do is you're just going to melt this on the stovetop, just so that you can get these other ingredients in. Is just take your coconut oil. If it's in the summer, it's going to be melted. It's fine. But if you're doing this in the winter or the fall, it's going to be solid, okay? This oil is solid. So you'll have to melt it. So just melt it over the stovetop just enough for it to be melted down to oil. Don't let it burn. All right, so 1/4 cup of coconut oil, 1/4 cup of arrowroot powder, 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch, 1/8 of a cup of baking powder. I'm sorry, that is wrong. It should be baking soda. And look at there, I wrote it in there wrong all these years. It's baking soda. All right, now, if you find that you have a sensitivity to that baking soda, then you're gonna get that magnesium hydroxide, and you're gonna put that in the place of that baking soda, okay? 2 tablespoons of bentonite clay, and remember I said I get that from that Arizona shop, Mountain Rose Herbs. You can get them on Amazon too. 2 tablespoons of shea butter. That's optional. That'll just make it thicker, creamier, more moisturizing, which, you know, your coconut oil is going to moisturize as well. And if you want to put it in an old container like this, then you want some sort of wax. 2 tablespoons of that wax. Calendula wax or soy wax or beeswax. And if you're vegan, you're not going to want to use beeswax. Okay, but by putting that wax in, you can put it into a container like this. If you're just going to do it in a little jar like I did, you won't need the wax. All right, so, and then a couple of drops of the essential oil of your choice. And for me, I have what I call my balancing blend. And I do 5 drops of lavender and 5 drops of citrus. And that could be lemon, lemon balm, blood orange, grapefruit, anything that's uplifting like that. So lavender calms, citrus uplifts, and I call that balancing, okay? And it's just really, really lovely, the scents together. And that's up to you. Do what you like. If you're not a lavender lover, you're not going to want that. I only use essential oils. I don't use anything synthetic, and that's my personal choice. If I'm going to go through the trouble of making my own deodorant, I'm not putting chemicals in it. I'm going to make it as natural as possible. Okay, so if you want to try and make that yourself, you can. But as I said, if you are on a plant-based journey and you've been on it for a while, try going without and see if you stink. Now, you'll have to go through that detox for the antiperspirant, more than likely, just like I did. But once you get through that, I rarely sweat. I mean, I feel wet sweat. It's got to be really, really hot, and I've got to be doing something that, you know, works up a sweat. That just makes sense, right? So, it's very rare that my armpits feel wet, because I've gone through that detox. And so another thing that I do, and personally, what I'm doing right now, I have all these different products, but what I am doing personally is I go without. If I feel like it's the end of the day and I'm a little stinky, which it's not that bad, but I don't want anyone else to smell it, I will just take a little pure baking soda and, just like a powder, just kind of fluff some underneath my arms, and that smell goes away. No more smell. And that's all I'm doing. Sorry. Have a good day, guys.